All right, so I've had quite a few people ask me to share my trade win rate and my PnL, and I understand why. When you're following a trader that shares strategy, you want to know if he's actually profitable, and the strategies might look good on the charts, but you know what's going on behind the scenes. So I think that's fair. Listen, I have nothing to sell, and I don't owe anyone anything, but I do understand why you guys want some transparency. And for me, this is mostly to show you guys that this is possible for anyone. You're going to see we're looking at little profits, little risk, small reward, but consistency. And at the end of the month, you can see some profit. At the end of each week, this is five weeks in a row now of just profits every week. And they stack up at the end of the month. And in my case, by the way, I'm trading two accounts at the same time, right? So this is 1,150 for the month, X2, so that's 2,300. I think it's not Lambo money, and that's not what I'm trying to demonstrate here. Screw the Lambo. I think what most people want is a strategy and a kind of a reward that allows them to pay the bills at the end of the month. And I think that's what at the beginning is really life-changing. So we're going to start with, so we'll get into the strategy a bit later. I think that's important. I made a full video on this exact strategy. So I'll share the link to that video in the top comment. I'll pin it over there. So these two accounts here, I trade just this 1 minute New York Open NASDAQ strategy. I think that's great for a lot of traders because we're in and out in a few seconds. This is the video, by the way. I'll link it in the comments. But this one here, how I make 200 in just 10 minutes. It's clickbait, but I'm going to prove to you how good it actually is. So this is the video. Now let's get to the stats. So first of all, the win rate is already pretty nice. It's 60%, but it's actually much better than that because I was trading for a while another strategy at the same time on gold. I was figuring out a scalping strategy on gold, which wasn't working out too well. The backtesting was great, but then I wasn't implementing it that well. So I just stopped trading it, but it did screw with my statistics. I don't care about the stats. What matters to me is this, because the actual stats of the strategy is 75, probably over 80% actually, and I'm going to show that to you. Look, so this is what you want to see this is the PnL curve, right? And you can see we're on a steady uprising PnL, and that's very important because you don't want to see on a trader that you follow or especially on your personal accounts, you don't want to see a big spike up. Oh, he made $500 that day, and then minus 800 the next one, and then plus 1,000, and then because that's gambling. This steadiness here, this kind of boring, slow uprising PnL curve is exactly what you want to see for yourself or a trader that you follow, because this shows you here that it's always the same risk to reward. This shows you that there's no over trading. This shows you that there's the right mindset, the discipline. You're going to see also I don't take a lot of trades per day. So by the way, this is on Bullinox. These are the two accounts that I trade, especially with this strategy, although I did a little bit of gold and on these accounts. But this is mostly for my NQ strategy, New York Open. I trade also on Top Step some different strategies, more on the 15-minute time frame. But we're going to focus on this today. So we've had the monthly now. Let's look at the week by week. You can see these are the profits, and they're consistent. It's plus 230, plus 200, 230, just 100 that week, then 160, and what's the last week, I think? Just this week here. We're mid-November now. 240 was the last week. So this is multiplied by 2 because I trade two accounts. Oh, by the way, so these are the two funded accounts you can see here on Bullinox, okay? And these are some challenges that I wouldn't say I gambled, but I trade aggressively and I test my strategies here. So these challenges are actually screwed. But that's absolutely fine. That's the way I do it. I don't advise you doing it. I like to test strategies on cheap challenges and evaluations. But there you go. So you got your weekly. And so about the statistics, you can see that Here, for example, I was testing that strategy on gold, GC, this is gold, okay? And so you got 2 losses here. So if you're looking, I think, what else did we have? I think there was another bad day. Yeah, minus 146 was that gold. Yeah, 2 losses on gold. So this is what kind of drove my strategy, my win rate down, which again, I don't care about the win rate. What matters is the PnL at the end of the week. What else did I want to show? Yeah, also my break-evens are actually often small losses, like $5, $10, $15 losses, because I actually put my stop loss a little bit above or below my entry, because I don't care about losing $15. I like to give a little bit extra space to my trades. So there you go. I think that's about it. Yeah, you can see also the duration of my trades. I think that's interesting. Average win duration, 30 seconds. Average loss duration, 42 seconds. So I'm not BSing when I'm showing you in this video in and out in seconds. That's true. I'm just showing it to you. Again, this is on the 1 minute time frame during New York Open. I trade for 10 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes if I need to wait for the setup because it's not coming in at the open. And then I'm in and out of these trades in seconds and in a couple minutes maximum, okay? So I think that's enough. Again, the most important part is this, because then I'll probably start risking a little bit more on these trades. I'm just risking $60, $80, $100 on these trades. I'm gonna start risking a little bit more. But I like, and I think that's what you should have as well, is small risk, because you don't want to get emotional in your trades. And if you see your PnL going down $200, $300 in a matter of minutes, and maybe you have 2 losses in a row, it's gonna happen. It's gonna screw with your mindset, and this is where you're gonna start making mistakes. This is where you're gonna start panicking and overtrading or not following your strategy, or then doubling risk. I made a whole video about this. Here, this is a very important video as well if you want to watch it, because this talks about the mental aspect of it, which is so important. Let's get into the strategy now. So this is a perfect example here. We're at the New York Open. Within this one actually was 18 minutes into the New York Open. Most of the time it's within the first 5 minutes. But here was the first candle of the Open. So we get some strong volume to the downside. And I had this level that I was interested in trading into, but I didn't get the right setup. As you can see, we wicked, then pushed up, and then we ranged. And then now I wanted us to break below this level of support. And you're gonna see exactly what the strategy is. We want to see a strong, high volume, high momentum candle break below the support with a nice break. You don't want to see this wick go higher here, right? You don't want to see the candle close up here, because that means that we have some strong buyers here still, and we might reverse again. So strong bearish break, small wick at the bottom, and then on the next candle, let me zoom in, we want this candle to open, first go up, not go down first go up, put a top wick, and then flip bearish. And here we're gonna have a stop sell order in this case. We're going to have an order down here. When it flips bearish, we are triggered, our entry is here, we slide our stop loss right up here, and then we set our TP here down at our target, the next low. So what we have is a break of support and a nice target of liquidity stop hunt. As you can see earlier that day, we had a double bottom here, which was created during the London session. So it made a lot of sense that if we broke some support and just had some very strong bearish momentum, it made a lot of sense that we would go for these lows, okay? So it's very important to wait for that top wick first and then have it flip bearish. You don't just enter after this candle. You wait for the top wick and enter when it flips bearish. It gives you that slingshot effect where it pulls back and then goes down, right? So that's it. Let's go through another few trades. Oh, by the way, this one was a break even. I made a little mistake, or I got slightly unlucky, is that once my trade is in profit, let's say it's in profit around here, I moved my stop loss to break even. and it actually I went too early break even, and it actually went back to my entry, so I got stopped out and went back down right after that. So this one was a break even, but I like to show you because it's a beautiful example of what the strategy is. Sorry guys. I'm going to show you a few more examples. But again, I have a full video just going into this strategy. I'll put the link in the comments. Let's see, this one was a loss. I'm going to go through it. It wasn't even the strategy that failed. It was a mistake on my part. Here, yesterday, it was a small win, but it was pretty much a break even here. I messed up. I didn't mess up. I was a bit greedy and quite unlucky, actually. So we have a target here. We have these lows, which we never quite reached, which when we get close to lows like this during New York Open, it's very, very rare that they don't go for these stop losses. So I was very surprised here, but I was a bit greedy because, so as you can see, level of support, we break through it with a lot of volume, a lot of momentum here, beautiful bearish candle. And so we had a top wick first, and then we flipped bearish. So this was my entry. And then we went down, but as you can see, I was aiming at a 1 to 2 risk to reward. And usually, as I always say, I'm more of a 1 to 1, 1 to 1.5 with this strategy risk to reward. So if I had been a little bit less greedy, I would have made, I think, around $85 on that trade. And instead of that, I made just like $23 across two accounts, so that's 45. But because actually, so in this case, I didn't actually put my stop to break even. I actually closed my trade manually around here. I just wanted to have little profits, tiny little profits just for my last day. It was Friday. So I wanted to make some just this little psychological thing, I guess. So there we go. This was a very nice trade, just a little bit unfortunate. Let's look at some other examples here. We've done this one. Oh yeah, let's look at the loss. This one was a mistake on my part. Perfect setup, but let's go through it. So this was the first candle of New York Open. This one right here, very bullish, obviously. The other one, beautiful close above our level of resistance here. We didn't have a target, but that's fine. It's not ideal, but it's still fine. But what happened here is that this candle started to go down, to put a bottom wick, which is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Went back up, but I made a mistake. Instead of having an order up here, a limit buy order, to really let that candle flip and confirm bullish and then continue going up, I actually clicked a market buy a little bit too early in this area before it actually flipped. And you can see, this is interesting because, so first of all, you can see it's a mistake on my part. So the strategy itself didn't fail. I failed the strategy. And also you can see why it's so important to wait for these wicks before entering, because it's going to save you. If you don't take the wicks, don't wait for the wicks, your win rate is going to go way lower because it saves you from these fake outs. This was actually a fake out. Everybody went long right here and they got screwed immediately. Whereas if you wait for that bottom wick to retest that level in this case, and then push up with some nice volume, and then first of all, you have a clear stop loss at the bottom wick, and also you have that slingshot effect because we're trapping some shorts, retesting the level, and then we shoot back up. So this wick, waiting for the wick is what makes this strategy so powerful. And that's what you have to wait for, okay? So again, this screwed with you can see this was not even my strategy. That's minus $70 on that trade. This screws with my, win rate, with the statistics. It doesn't matter, but you can see that in this case, the strategy just didn't trigger, and I should not have been in that trade. Did we look at this one already? I don't think so. Did we? I don't think we did. Okay, so we had a level of support, little range here, kind of support resistance. Here it was clear support, fake bounce, strong bearish close. This was at 8:33, so that was the fourth candle of the New York Open. This was the New York Open here. As you can see, this is most of the time you're gonna get your trades in the first few minutes of the Open. And there you go, strong bearish close, top wick, flip bearish, and this one took probably a minute and a half, and we had our clear target here. We had some nice momentum, so my TP wasn't like right here, it was actually a bit lower. I was willing to kind of take that risk, and then break even in case it flipped back up. So this one was plus $100 in that trade. Here, what did we have? This one was maybe a little bit more advanced, more risky, because you had, so first of all, we had this level of support here, broke through, retested. You can see that we kind of wicked but bounced from it, so it was a level of support. We had a nice break below, perfect candle, right, with a nice closure, and then perfect top wick, which retested. I like when it retests the level of support resistance area. Top wick flips bearish. As you can see, sorry guys. As you can see, my entry is not right here when it flips, like right when it flips. I give it, a little bit of extra to really make sure it really flips, so to speak. And then my target actually could have been all the way down at the lows, but I don't want to take that risk. I want to be in and out. This was actually 1 to 1.8 risk to reward, so very nice trade. But I could have been less greedy here, that's fine. So the only risky aspect of that trade is we did have another level of support here, and we did have a little level of support resistance here. So what I know also is that we had VWAP here. So we broke below VWAP and retested it. So I just like the confluence, but just a little bit more risky. Usually you don't want to be, and we had beautiful momentum as well, but usually you don't want to be, shorting into these potential levels of support. And also, we had a nice gap here, okay? So even though to the left we do have some level of support resistance, we do have this beautiful gap here, so there was quite a lot of chance that we failed to bounce from and then retested, and with that momentum, I was pretty confident we were gonna fill that gap, okay? I think that's it. Let's just show maybe just one more trade, and then we might go back a little bit to the PnL stuff. Okay, what do we have here? Do we have a loss maybe? That's a win. Okay, yeah, perfect example again. We had this level of support here. We bounced from it, we failed the bounce. I like to see that too, as a little extra confluence, right? Failed the bounce, closed back below it, beautiful bearish, beautiful momentum. What time was it? Yeah, this was the fourth candle also of the New York Open. Nice close, perfect top wick, retesting that level. Perfect setup. Flip bearish, and that's it, in and out in a few seconds here. Could have been a little bit more greedy. We had some targets. Yeah, no, I was already well below the targets here if you look, so, no reason to be more greedy. They ended up going all the way down there, that's fine. But that's it. I think the strategy is pretty clear. I go more in depth again in this video here, in and out in seconds, how I made $200 in just 10 minutes, blah, blah, blah. So I'll put the link to that video. But that's it, guys. I want this is for transparency, and this is also to show you some approachable stuff that you can do. These challenges cost from $15 if you have a good promo code to $40 or something like that, $30. They're cheap, so it's approachable for most people. And then once you pass the challenge, you do have to pay $150 to what's the word? I can't remember, just to start the actual funded account, right? But I mean, you're not risking a lot of money. You can have some great gains, and this is realistic for you. Like some people with this kind of money, even just trading one account, they can live on that. And they live very comfortably in some countries. I live in Thailand. I know that a lot of people could live on that very easily. But I think for people in Europe, in America or whatever, this pays your bill. This can pay your rent, this, whatever this can be for you. And look how much you're risking. You're risking nothing per trade. On these pretty decent sized accounts, you're not risking a lot. At the end of the week, you're up $230. You know what? Maybe you're down $230, but that's nothing. Psychologically, that is very easy for you to accept. You're on a big account. $230 is like 10% of your max loss limit. So I want to do this because it's kind of like a motivational, a hope kind of thing for you guys. It's by not risking a lot, by having a very simple strategy, by trading just a few minutes a day, New York Open for 5, 10, maybe 30 minutes if you want to, if you don't get your setup right at the beginning, not more than 30 minutes. You can do this, right? The strategy is pretty easy. You need to get used to it. but it doesn't get much more simple than that. And look, small profits. And little by little, first of all, I'm gonna have some more accounts. I'm gonna pass some more challenges. So I'm gonna, have some more accounts that I'm trading at the same time, and probably risk a little bit more than just $70, $80, $100 per trade. But you can get to that slowly and have some great results. This for me was just 5 weeks in a row of profits. Keep my head down when I have some bad days. I'm not going to be trading my gold scalping strategy. I trade gold on a different account on Top Step on the 15-minute. So listen, that's it for me today. I hope this is useful, and focus on this. This is discipline. This is maintaining the same amount of risk. And I guarantee you that you can do this if you stay focused. I always say I'm not selling anything, and I am not selling anything at this time. Maybe later in a few months, I might start a Discord where I'll do some live trading, but I'm not even that sure about this. Yeah, listen, this is what it's all about, guys. Simple strategy, small risk to reward, and consistency, and you can do really great out there on these markets. Okay, so I wish you guys all the best. If you have some questions, drop them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. And I hope to see you guys in the next video.